Okay, so guys, let's talk about manifestation for dummies. For people that is still new to the manifestation community, welcome, and I hope that you will enjoy this journey of conscious manifestation where we discover ourselves and become the new identity of the new version that we desire to be. Now, it can be anything: money, health, love, relationships, a car, a dog, it doesn't matter. And I just want to let you know that nothing, no thing, nothing, or whatever it is not big to manifest. And whatever circumstance and condition you might think that you are experiencing is keeping you away from your end, I want you to debunk that belief, and I want you to realize that it's not the truth. Because the end of the day, we are choosing in every moment and every second the new version of ourselves that we would like to experience. And fear cannot exist with love. Your desire cannot exist with the old identity or the old story. But also there is tools to help you and guide you to become the new version that you would like to experience. So what I want to ask you guys is I want you to go and get a piece of paper. I just want to see if I might have, okay, doesn't matter. Get a piece of paper, and I want you to sit for the following 3 days, and I want you to create a timeline of your life story. Whatever pops in your mind, good or bad or indifferent, it doesn't matter. From where you were before you were born, if there's anything that was spoken or talked about regarding you and your storyline, with, like, for example, your mother and her pregnancy, your father and the pregnancy, and before you were born, and from where you're born until point today. The reason why I am telling you this to do this is so that we can get to the place where we can see what you were identifying with. What and where is your awareness focused on? Especially with the undesirable triggers or fears or memories that you adopted along the way, so that we can sit down and lay down the foundation by becoming aware who you were identifying as that version of the old story. For example, if you were in a relationship and your relationship with your special person, I don't want you to use specific person because it do identify that this is a person that you don't have. If you want to have a loving, committed relationship and you want to be their girlfriend or boyfriend, then you say, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, the relationship with my boyfriend or my girlfriend. If you want to identify and be with a person by being married, then you state that statement of with my husband. Even if it is not realized in this reality at the moment, you still identify and speak as if you are already that person that is married with them or in a committed, loving relationship. Because let's face it, If you want to recover or reconcile with a family member, you're not going to talk about a specific person. You're going to say, I want to reconcile with my mother. I want to reconcile with my brother. I want to fix the relationship with my sister. You are going to give the name as it is. You don't need to go around and talk to people about your manifestation and what you want to do. And I suggest that you don't do that, because other people are going to reflect your fears and your triggers and your insecurities, because everyone is a mirror that is reflecting back that we are consciously aware of. Because remember, we are the cause, and the reality is the effect. And when you look in the mirror, you need to smile first before the mirror smile back. So we are going to become aware of your identity, where you currently are focused on, so that we can change your awareness of the old story that you adopted along the way. Now, most of the time, because remember, this is a new class for new beginners. That is not new to that is still new to manifestation, because everyone have different levels of creation and where they are at the law of manifestation, law of being, whatsoever, what you want to call it, I don't care. There's different names: law of attraction, law of assumption, law of being, law of whatever. So you put down that story on paper, and I'm going to give you an example why we are doing it. Say, for example, you grew up in a dysfunctional household. Now, we all have grown up in a dysfunctional household, because we all adopted some certain beliefs, fears of conditions and circumstances that is not probably truth, but it's truth to us because of our religion, our community, our culture, all of that we adopt along the way, because it was passed down by generation and generation, and through our ancestors and our grandfathers and grandmothers and all of that. And most of the time you will see a pattern that was developed before you were even born. Now, I don't want you to go so far back. I just want you to capture your storyline and all of the limiting beliefs and untrue beliefs that was adopted along the way. Meaning, if your mother and father, say for example, was in a relationship but it was very toxic, and they maybe got divorced, now the end of the day, you felt like you were abandoned, or you were rejected, or you didn't feel good enough, or whatsoever freaking ever the situation may be. And that was a belief that you adopted because your ego, and the ego is also just a limitation that we adopted along the way, but your ego's purpose is to keep you safe. So your ego, remember that pain or that memory that caused you to feel a certain way. So when you grew up and you started to become into a loving, committed relationship, and there's certain circumstances or conditions that happen in your relationship, maybe you and your partner had a fight or something happened, and there's a reflection or there's something that maybe reminded you unconsciously, you were not aware of it, but unconsciously your body and your mind remember that this might seem like that I am going to get hurt. So then that default setting start to kick in, and then you experience similar situations about your relationship or something that happened. The same with money. If you grew up poor it's very difficult for you to realize that you don't need to be poor, because you can actually change that identity. But because that is your point of view and your reference regarding of your parents, then that is going to happen. You're going to experience similar situations or circumstances that is going to give you the identification that you are poor, you are unloved, or you are not whatsoever. You get the point, because that is your reference. So what I want you to do is to put down all of the memories and all of the thoughts and all of the stuff that you went through, and identifying, especially with the opposing negative, painful thoughts and memories, so that we can start to work on that. And it's not a working progress, it's actually just so that we can get into that new identity. But we need to know the old story first before we can shift into the new state of being. I wish I knew this before, because I tried to oppress the old story, not really get back to that and identifying, or not identifying, but just becoming aware of what I have felt for so long, and then, you know, do the new story, because I knew, so that I can remind myself, but that is the old story and that's not true. But who am I now in the new version or the new story of my new reality? But it was not that easy for me, because I didn't have the correct guidance when I started this journey. And that's the purpose of my that is the purpose what I try to help you guys, is to get to that new version of yourself with least resistance, much quicker and much easier, without any effort.